All right, guys, we should be back live. I do apologize for that. I don't know what happened. My streaming software froze out on me. I'm going to have to really look into that and see. That's like the third time it's happened in the last week and a half or 2 weeks. So I do apologize for that. But I did put the link over there. Yeah, we're good. We're live. We're good to go. So we're going to start back over with the... So, as far as the draft pool does go for tonight, we do have as follow: Akira Tozawa, the Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Again, good to hear they got their last names back. Asuka, the U.S. champion, Austin Theory, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman and Ricochet, Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, Charlotte Flair, Dana Brooke, Elias, Emma, Johnny Gargano, The Judgment Day, but only Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio, Karrion Kross with Scarlett, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the WWE Tag Team Champions, LA Knight, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Nikki Cross, Piper Niven, SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, Rick Boogs, Riddick Moss, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, Seth Rollins, Shotzi, Tamina, Tegan Nox, the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch, the LWO, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, Walking Wild, and Zelina Vega, the New Day, only Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Trish Stratus, Xia Li, and select NXT superstars. Now, as far as the NXT superstars do go, from night one, we did see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, technically 7 NXT superstars drafted, 6 picks. Because Isla Dawn and Alba Fire win as one. So maybe we see another 6 or 7 drafted tonight from NXT. And, they got to really replenish NXT after this because they're taking some big names. They're taking Apollo Crews, which I kind of wish he would have stayed. They're taking Zoe Stark, which I predicted would go up, which I think is a great call up. JD McDonough, great in the ring. Not sure how the main roster fans are going to go with him. Von Wagner, he's got the Vince size, but lacks charisma. Indy Hartwell, just great. But I don't know how the main roster would perceive Indy. Then you have Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who I haven't seen a lot amount of, especially Isla Dawn, but I do know Alba Fire is really good. But regardless, again, some of the predictions for tonight's like Seth stays on Raw with Becky. I would say LA Knight maybe comes over to Monday Night Raw. LWO, that's a tough one. Maybe whatever brand the Judgment Day doesn't go to, they go to. New Day, they get swapped almost every other year, so I could see them going back to Raw. Usos, I have a weird feeling they go to Raw because they're not going to be on the same brand with Roman. So yeah, a lot of things to look at here when it comes to the draft. And we have an interesting tidbit as far as the NXT draft picks do go. According to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, he stated that, well, the draft picks, at least the NXT draft picks, didn't actually know if they were getting picked or not and who would be drafted and what brand they would be going to, which is very interesting, which is kind of tradition for WWE to not tell people what brand they're going to or that they're getting called up from NXT in the draft. So when you saw Indy stand up, hug Grayson Waller and cry, that was all legitimate. That was all genuine because she got the news right then and there. Alba Fire and that's the weird thing. Because Alba Fire, well, no, they had time to set something up. Because Alba Fire and, how's that not a caution? Anyways, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn get called up as the tag team champions. And then minutes later, they set up a tag title match. So maybe they get called up, because that was maybe 5-10 minutes later. And then they go, okay, Kaden, Casey, or Katana, her name now. Come here, we're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. None of them in NXT knew that they were getting called up or not. So, like, Von Wagner didn't know. Apollo Crews, you're going back to the main roster. He didn't know. So, very interesting stuff Very, very interesting stuff when it comes to the WWE draft. Now, the WWE draft doesn't actually go into effect till next Monday after the Backlash pay-per-view. And speaking of the Backlash pay-per-view, we actually have, I guess, some what's the word I'm looking for? Betting odds for that Backlash pay-per-view. Betting odds do come from Bet Online. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches have been announced. So let's run down all those matches and the current betting odds. First off, we do know in a street fight, it's Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest, with Bad Bunny a minus 2,500 to defeat Priest at a plus 800. With the Raw Women's Championship on the line, Bianca Belair is a minus 2,000 to retain over Io Sky at a plus 700. Now, with Bianca moving over to SmackDown, Damage Control's also moving over to SmackDown. Now, I get it. Bianca would most likely be the favorite anyways over Io, but there's a chance. There is a chance Io wins this and they just keep the belt on SmackDown, whatever, go from there. Singles match, we've got Seth Rollins versus Omos. Right now, Seth is a minus 1,000 to defeat Omos at a plus 500. In a triple threat for the United States Championship, Austin Theory will be defending against both Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley. Austin Theory is favored at a minus 400 to defeat Bobby Lashley at a plus 500 and Bronson Reed at a plus 250. With the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line, Rhea Ripley is favored at a minus 10,000. Biggest odd I've ever seen for a pro wrestling match. Jesus Christ, Bet Online. Hold on, is that a typo? Let me refresh this and just double check. Hold on. I want to double check this. Is she really a minus 10,000? Let me. Okay. SmackDown Women's Champion. Yep, minus 10,000 to defeat Zelina Vega at a plus 1,100. Holy schmoly. That's wild. Also, we do have the 6-man tag team match. It's tag team champion Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens with Matt Riddle. They take on the Bloodline, the Usos, with Solo Sikoa. And right now, the babyfaces are a minus 300 to defeat the Bloodline at a plus 200. Dwayne says Zelina not winning. No. If your number is a minus, you're favored to win. If your number is a plus, you're the underdog, not favored to win. So right now, Zelina not favored to win, which I wouldn't expect anyways. And finally, we got Brock Lesnar against Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is currently favored at a minus 300 to defeat Brock Lesnar at a plus 200. Remember, Brock is scheduled for tonight's Raw. Those are all the betting odds for Backlash taking place this Saturday, right? Saturday. Let me double check that date. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday. Oh, WWE just put up a preview for Raw. Yeah, Saturday. Backlash is Saturday. So as we move forward with some more WWE stories, Carmella and Corey Graves had some good news this morning as they announced with Good Morning America they're expecting their first child together. After having undergone 2 miscarriages late last year, WWE superstar Carmella revealed to Good Morning America she is pregnant and found out back in March. Good Morning America wrote the following. It's all just such a whirlwind, she told GoodMorningAmerica.com. I think because of my past, it was hard to get excited off the bat about this one, but I was cautiously optimistic. I try to have a good mindset, a positive mindset this time around, and it's working. So I'm very happy about that. After the first test, I'm like, oh, are we sure? Are we sure? I mean, I took additional tests for weeks just to make sure they still said positive. So it's really just been such a mind work to get my head around. But the fact that I'm here, I'm on the other side of it, I'm almost out of the first trimester at this point, it's been quite a journey. So congratulations to Corey Graves and Carmella. That is why Carmella was just randomly all of a sudden out of nowhere yanked from television, out of teaming with Chelsea Green. And Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville are good together. I thought Chelsea Green was better. Her chemistry with Carmella, even though we hadn't seen much of it, was better. But we now know why Carmella was just yoinked off TV. Because she's pregnant. She found out in March and is due in November. So again, congratulations to the happily married couple on the first child they are expecting together. Corey already has, I think, 2 daughters. So there we go. Ishi says, when do you see her returning? Carmella? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? She could be like Becky and wait almost a year after her baby's born. She could be like Lacey Evans and Ronda Rousey and wait months. Who the hell knows? But speaking of happily married couples, the Intercontinental Champion Gunther got married this past weekend to longtime girlfriend and WWE superstar Jinny. The two started dating in 2021 after meeting in NXT UK before the brand was actually shut down. Jinny was one of the more prominent female wrestlers on the brand. Gunther was the champion, and yeah, it was like a match made in heaven. The two announced not long ago that they were engaged and, well, got married this past weekend. The wrestling couple had announced that they got married over the weekend, and the Intercontinental Champion actually took to Twitter to post this photo of them after the ceremony. We're going to pull that up on the screen for you guys. Nice little photo of the newlyweds. Got this photo right here. Them happily married. Great to see. Wedding, I think it said it took place in London, England. So yeah, congratulations to Gunther and Jinny on their nuptials. With that is going to wrap up everything we have WWE-wise. Not wrap up the show, but WWE-wise. Now we're going to move in. I guess you can slightly say a little bit of an update on the AEW Fight Forever video game, as this news does come from Mike Straw of Inside Gaming, as he does write the following. Announced almost 2.5 years ago, AEW Fight Forever. AEW Fight Forever has been keeping fans waiting for any information about the game's release. After originally being expected to release in 2022, the game has seen a few hiccups leading to delays. But those issues could finally be coming to an end with a release possibly right around the corner. Previously, it was reported by Fightful that material was filmed by talent earlier this year, but Inside Gaming had learned that AEW Fight Forever, all promotional material has actually been finished. Everything that needed to be shot has been done, and everything that had to be edited and or updated is complete. At this point, it's simply waiting for a green light to begin the full promotion of the game, aside from reminders during AEW television. Sources around the game's promotional team, however, tell Inside Gamer that they haven't been told anything about when the promotion will begin. Recently, THQ Nordic's global community manager Zaides claimed that the game wasn't, quote, almost done. This was despite comments by AEW owner Tony Khan and Executive Vice President Kenny Omega stating the opposite. That said, what is viewed as done or almost done by a publisher and a developer can be two separate things. As a developer, almost done means the game's almost ready to start saying release date and work towards that release date. As a publisher, sometimes almost done is final stretch to the release date, where we've got pre-orders up. We've got people that have bought this game already and made the pre-orders. We're going in the final stretch of promotion, and we know we're getting close to the date. So again, developer could say almost done because the game's almost ready to go gold, which means the game is ready to be printed on disc. Or to a publisher, almost done is already been printed on disc, almost ready to be shipped to retailers. But Inside Gaming sources have insisted that the game is ready from a development standpoint, aside from ongoing bug fixes and updates that will be worked on all the way through the launch and beyond. So there we go. Looks like it's only a matter of time before AEW Fight Forever does get announced as far as a release date. But it's just like, We keep hearing, oh, September, oh, maybe the fall, late fall, oh, maybe March, oh, maybe, and it just keeps passing and passing and passing and passing. At this point, I don't even know. What happens first? Cody wins a world title in WWE, or this game comes out? But as we move forward, we got some Impact Wrestling news to talk about as at last week's TV tapings. And this is not a spoiler because Impact announced it themselves. Trinity Fatu made her big debut, I guess you could say. It's official. Trinity Fatu is with Impact Wrestling. Her name had been rumored as, quote, the, quote, major surprise that was confirmed to be in Chicago on Friday night. This is her first pro wrestling appearance since leaving WWE last year. It is also to be noted that Mercedes Moné was there with her, hidden somewhere in the building, but she was not on the show because she is not working Impact Wrestling. Impact also announced that last Saturday, she would be working the Spring Slugfest show, taking on one half of the tag team, the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Kylan King. I won't give any spoilers on that because stuff happened where she may have found herself a tag partner, and she may be going after the tag titles right off the bat. But again, I'm not going to spoil anything as far as that does go. But Trinity Fatu, the former Naomi, is in Impact, and this Thursday she will be on the show doing some sort of a promo or speaking on the mic or something. We don't know exactly what she's going to say. I didn't get word on the promo, just what happened in ring with her, Kylan King, and somebody else. Just saying. So yeah, really cool to see that Trinity has made her way to Impact. I've seen a lot of people say this is a, quote, step down for her, and she should have just went back to WWE, but who knows what she's thinking and her mindset and so forth. But Mercedes Moné, or Moné, I always butcher that, they take to Twitter to talk about, where was it? I had it. Now I lost it. Trinity going to Impact. There were, like, she wasn't fully kept a secret or hidden backstage because there are some photos that got out of her there wearing a big old floppy hat you can still see the goofy hair. But, here we go. So as far as Trinity going to Impact, Mercedes tweeted, quote, Trinity Fatu is here to make an impact. She about to knock out all competition and leave them in the rear view. Get it, sis. So there we go. Trinity is with Impact. Mercedes was there to show her support, just like Trinity was there multiple times for Mercedes to show her support, whether that was in Japan for New Japan, whether that was in San Jose for New Japan, or so forth. Now, speaking of Impact Wrestling, we do know that former NWA World's Champion Nick Aldis is with Impact right now, but Fightful's got a slight update on his status with the company, as Fightful writes the following. Nick Aldis is in Impact Wrestling for a good time, but maybe not a long time. Many have been asking about the contract status of Nick Aldis after he returned to the company at Rebellion. While many have speculated that Aldis was on a handshake deal, we've learned that it isn't the case. Instead, he's on a short-term agreement that looks to be a feeling out process for the two sides. We're told that Aldis is more concerned about seeing how things work and having a positive impact on the company, and didn't want the status of his deal with the company to overshadow the work there. Well, in my opinion, him having a short-term deal might overshadow it instead of a long-term deal, because if you say he signed to a long-term deal, then you don't have to worry about, well, how long is he here for? How much longer does he actually have? When's that contract actually up? It's, oh, you signed a 3-year deal? Okay, cool. But now having the short-term deal, I think that does the opposite of what, he wants to accomplish. Ooh, Martin Truex to the lead. 37 laps to go. Goddamn. Past Chastain. Anyways, NASCAR race is on. Got rained out yesterday. Nick Aldis is signed to a short-term deal with Impact Wrestling, and we'll see where that all leads to, as far as we still know there's interest from WWE. But then there's the whole WWE's not really hiring right now. So maybe he signed a short-term deal with Impact, because once that short-term deal with Impact is done, he goes back to WWE and says, you still want to hire me? I don't know. So maybe that's one thing. We'll have to wait and see. But finally, the last news story we have is a great news story. Richard Holiday is in remission and back in the world of pro wrestling. While making a surprise appearance for Beyond Wrestling on Sunday, Richard Holiday revealed some amazing news. Holiday made the announcement that his cancer is in remission, and he also shared the news in a tweet. He said that on Sunday and also shared the news in a tweet on Monday. Holiday revealed in December of 2022 that he was in the middle of undergoing chemotherapy treatment. He was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma after tests were done in September. In December, in an interview with Sports Illustrated, Holiday said that, quote, while his diagnosis was devastating, his doctors assured him that he could win his fight against cancer. He stated, it was earth-shattering and devastating, but I knew right then I needed to change my mindset. The mind powers the body, so I needed to stay positive. I was reassured by my doctors that I could beat this, and I believe I'm going to beat this. Holiday was under contract with MLW at the time of his diagnosis, and it was revealed just a couple of weeks ago that he is now a free agent as his MLW deal did expire, and no time was added to it for his time away for his cancer treatment. Court Bauer, owner of MLW, did state at the time, the seat is warm if Holiday ever wants to return to MLW. So there we go. Great to hear that Richard Holiday is in remission. Great to see Richard Holiday back inside of a ring. And now the question is, where does he go? Because he's got the talent that anybody would be grateful to have. Richard Holiday is awesome in the ring, great on the mic, a just standout personality. Some say he's similar to MJF. Well, him and MJF were a team in MLW. So maybe like if WWE wants their MJF now, they can go after Richard Holiday and throw him in NXT or something. But again, really cool to see that Richard Holiday is in remission. And we'll see where he lands going forward. With that, guys, that's going to wrap up the Wrestling Wrap-Up. That's all we got for you today. Remember, tonight is Monday Night Raw, night 2 of the WWE Draft, and we'll be back live after that show, recapping everything. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, nothing has really been announced. We know that the draft is taking place, and Brock will be on the show. That's all. That's all they've announced. With that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. See you guys back here tonight following Monday Night Raw. Have a good one, guys.